Hey paint friends, it's Christy here with Blooms and Brushstrokes and Texas. Our little, oh sorry buddy, our little channel mascot. I picked him up and he had just finished drinking water. I could hear it swooshing around in his stomach. Anyways, how is everybody doing? I'm doing really, really good. I am excited to get on with another tutorial. My life has been absolutely bananas the last couple weeks and I'm fearful that this is how it's going to be until next winter. I own a hair salon and it's, we are always very crazy. I live in a resort town and it is bananas from now until the new year. So it's gonna be crazy. So I'm starting to worry a little bit about how I'm gonna get all these tutorials in, but I'm just gonna have to carve out the time. I'm gonna have to schedule it and that's just how it's gonna be. But anyways, without further ado, let's talk about what we're gonna do today. So I did a short. This is the first time I used a little bit of that gold leaf. Oh shoot. Here it is. Anyways, so I painted the pictures of the picture of the daffodils and I really loved it. And I was thinking, well, I could stop right now and it would be perfect and add, you know, maybe whatever, some splatters in, whatever else. But I really, really wanted to try the gold leaf. Anyhow, so yeah, I got very excited about it, put the gold leaf on. In my head, I thought, I just kind of want to have it like bold and out there. But then once I did it, I realized that actually I should have kind of done it a little bit more softer and kind of done it on the tips, you know. Afterwards, I got thinking about it. But then I thought if I'm going to do it just like a little line of it, I might as well stick with the gold metallic ink. So I'm not totally sold on the gold leaf. And for the sake of our tutorial, we are going to do the daffodils, but we are not going to do the gold leaf. We are going to do it in my OG style. I need to practice more on the gold leaf and kind of figure out how I like to work it. No, Texas. Hey, no. Oh, geez. He's bopping the camera. I need to figure out how I want to place it, what looks best before I go and do a tutorial with that. So we're not going to do the gold leaf, but we are going to do something similar to this with the daffodils. I already sketched it out because I was going to paint this after I did this. I was going to paint this. So I have one sketched out. You won't be able to see it, but for the sake of a tutorial and you guys following along, I'll do the sketch quickly here in my Canson book, but I am going to use my block for this. So this is the Stonehenge block, watercolor block. I posted a video of my Amazon order unboxing and this was on there. So that's what I'm using. It's a 7x7. And that's what I'm going to use to do the paint, but we'll do the drawing on this Canson paper. So if you guys have the book or whatever you want to use, that's what I'm going to do the drawing on, but then I will paint the one that I've already done already. So let's get cracking, you guys, so that we can try to make this tutorial under an hour long. So let's get to it and let's get drawing some daffodils. All right, you guys. Okay, so the one we're going to paint is going to be slightly off from the one that I just showed you. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's very light on this block. So we'll do a drawing of it a little bit larger. So we're going to start up here with our very first daffodil. And so again, with our circles, I always start kind of with my circle here and a circle down here. That's going to give us our trumpet. And then I kind of build from there. I've also seen where, you know, okay, so let's build the trumpety part. So we got our two circles. Hopefully you guys can see that. I could go a little bit darker because I'm not going to use this one. There and there. And so we're going to go up from there. You can see that's going to give us that already. So we can do a circle here, a circle here, a circle here, and a circle here. That's where we're going to put and so we're going to get rid of, as you can see, this one here is really dark. So we're going to erase that one. This is where our leaves are going to be, our petals, sorry. And you can make them however you like. Actually, I want to go a bit bigger. So we're gonna go like that. And so we're just using that circle kind of as a guide. And then we're gonna go this next one. And then we're gonna go this one up here. And then we're gonna go around this one here. And this one will just kind of blunt off the top, so it gives the illusion that it's kind of folding backwards. We'll do that. Nah, I don't like that. That's okay. Mine has 5 leaves. It's hard when I'm like, oh, I just kind of wing. Anyways, doesn't matter. You can have 4 leaves. You can have 5 leaves. If I'm going to do the 5th, let's see, where would I squeeze that bad boy in there? I think I would go there, and then we go up with another one there. There we go. And then we can have 5. And so then they would have like and so you can get rid of the circles now, because those don't need to be there. And you don't even need to do the circles, but I have seen where, tutorials, they'll do the circles just to give you that guide. And then we can pop those lines in there. So my daffodil that I'm going to do is going to be a little bit more kind of, the top of the daffodil has ripples in it, and it's, so that's how mine's going to be. So I'll just erase that, redo. So the next one I'll do it just to begin with. That's how I did the original drawing. So you kind of just go around and kind of squiggle like so. And then there's I do a little bit of a guide through the top, and then there'll be the stamen in there. So you can see, we'll do all the details with the pen and ink and all that stuff, and the watercolor, all that good stuff. Okay, so we've got that one done. And then we're gonna put another one over here, and we're gonna go pretty big with that. Oh, let's go bigger. Mine's bigger. We're gonna go big with that. And same kind of thing, like you can do your circle down here as well if you need. And then, so once I have a pretty good handle on drawing a flower, I often don't need to have the circles anymore. But if I'm, gonna make it, like if I were to do it going in a different direction, like these ones up here I'm good with, but if I wanted it to open up down here, I would draw my circle for sure first, because it's it's not how I always draw them. So, and circles always keep you on track. So we'll do that, and then we'll have our little stamen in there, whatever. And then we are gonna build our leaves off. And they can be kind of ripply, wonky, whatever, however you like. If you like them more smooth, then make them more smooth. Like, you don't have to follow everything that I do. Actually, this one's gonna come up from behind it a bit. I'll go, ooh. There, that's better. And then back here, we'll have one that kind of comes up behind. So you get the idea, you guys, and you can add more leaves. You can add less leaves, whatever you like. So that's basically the basic drawing. And then I've gotten, like, there'll be a stem. So I've got a stem kind of coming. And then I've got some leaves coming up behind. So we do have a few of them. This one would have a stem coming that way, but we're just gonna, the stem would probably come like that, so we wouldn't be able to see it. So we're just gonna do another leaf coming this way. Awesome. So that's kind of a quick little tutorial on how to draw those. Hopefully you guys can follow along. Again, the reason I don't spend a lot of time going into detail about the daffodils is because that's not, or any flower, is because I'm not the world's greatest drawing artist. I just slap something down because my pictures are always a little bit abstract, and you know, I do all the goodness with the paint, so I don't really want to focus too much time and attention on the drawing. If you don't know how to draw a daffodil, this isn't enough detail. Please go just look up a tutorial on how to draw a daffodil, and I'm sure you'll come up with a really good one. And then you can just follow along kind of with my techniques. But that's basically, this here is what we're gonna do, but I'm gonna do it on my block. So I haven't had the time to swatch out my other paint set. So I'm still gonna use this Mungayo one because I then can look at my paint swatches and tell you guys exactly what I'm using so that we can all stay on the same page. So that's gonna do it for the drawing. Now I'm gonna bring in my block. So these blocks are amazing for many, many reasons. And one being that you don't have to pre-wet them. So if you guys are so inclined, get some blocks. They're beautiful to use. They're a little bit of a little bit pricier, but they are worth it. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a bit here so we can get as much. Oh shoot. There, that'll be better. I always forget to hit the autofocus lock so it doesn't zoom in on my hands. Like it's a little trick you gotta use when you're filming. Okay. So here we are, you guys. That looks pretty centered to me. Good enough. We are gonna start by doing the leaves in the background. I'm just gonna grab my paper towel and there it is. My swatch paper, so I can always tell you guys what I'm using so we can all stay on the same program. All right, so daffodils are a pretty dainty flower, so we are gonna keep this one looking pretty soft and dainty looking. We're gonna start with our number 8 round brush. This Aqua Elite. It's a Princeton brush. We're gonna start with that. I love this brush. It's a long round. Ooh, it is delightful. I have been loving using it. So we're gonna do the green leaves up the back very first. So we're gonna start going in with a mix of the yellow green, or the green yellow, and a mix of the well, you can't really see too great. The green, yellow, and then the gray, green. So we've got green, yellow, gray, green. We're gonna start with our base with that, quite diluted. So that's gonna be our, and we're just gonna kind of mix like about a half and half with that. It's just gonna be pretty pale, light color. And we're gonna do our background leaves and our stem. So let's start over here on our left-hand side, and we're just gonna drag that down. Now this is going to be a bit more of a structured painting. It's not going to be such a loose painting, but you can do it however you like if you just want to have fun as we go along, and we're just going to do this one a little bit more structured. And here we have another, ooh, I gotta get more water on my brush. We have another leaf coming back here. And we're just gonna pull that down. This is our very first layer, so we're gonna work with that. There's a leaf here that we're going to be, that's why it's kind of ruffled. There, like it looks a little, it doesn't look smooth. It's because I'm up beside a leaf here. Okay, so going to do our last leaf here. And it's just a bit awkward painting, trying to stay in the in focus. There we go. Here comes Tex. You can always hear him with his bell. Oh my gosh, I swear he knows. He knows exactly. Like he's just gonna come lay right down here. Hey, buddy. Okay. So those are our 3 leaves in there so far. They're still a little damp, so we can go in and we can add a tiny little bit of a little bit more color into them. So I'm going to mix the dark green. The cat is on the swatches, you guys. I'm just going to show you guys. Oh, that's what he's up to. So it's always a challenge, but I'm up for it. I like having him hanging around. He's my best bud. And so we do lots of art together. I'm going to give him a different one to lay on. There you go, buddy. You can lay on that one. There. Okay. So we're going to go with the deep green here. And we're going to mix it into what we already had. So some of the green yellow and the gray green. The green gray. And we're going to mix quite a bit of that dark green in there. We want it to kind of be a bit like of a camo green a little bit. Oopsies. That's better. Okay, and so we're going to want to just add a little bit of detail in with that, kind of on the other undersides of where these leaves would be, or what would be the underside. So we're just going to go pull a little bit of down, and it's great if it bleeds. Brilliant. That's what we wanted to do. Oh, I love that. So that's our very background one. We put that in there. That's perfect. It's okay that it blooms into this one. That's totally fine. This one's more dry, so it's not going to do that quite as much. So what we'll do there is we will wet our brush, kind of clean it a bit, wet it, and then we're going to help spread that out a bit, just so it's not all in one spot. So we're just going to add some water to that. Just because it was a bit more dry, and that's fine. That's what we're up to here. So we're just gonna plop that down there. And here with our last one, again, it's quite a bit more dry. But we're just gonna kind of go around the edge there. And then we'll add that water in there to kind of have it. Nobody. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's a challenge. What are you doing there, bud? Okay, I like how that looks. We're gonna stick with that. Hey, oh, oh my gosh. He almost had me smear a bunch of paint everywhere, so that's not great. Okay, buddy. I know you love to paint, but I would love to get this done without you interfering in the whole tutorial. Do you want a paintbrush? Here, have your own. Giving him a paintbrush. He doesn't want that. Okay, so we're gonna let these dry before we go and do any painting that is touching them. So we can start working on some of these petals that are not attached to where the green is, because we just don't want that to run. So I'm gonna use the lemon yellow. Oh, he's still on it. Okay, the lemon yellow, I gotta find that one there. 802. So we're gonna get our paintbrush really wet, and we're gonna go and we're gonna drop some water down into that petal. And you know, we're really gonna wanna kind of go around the outer edges, but we don't wanna go totally up the center. We wanna leave a little bit of that white. And we can get, no, my water bottle. Just put lots of water down and lots of pigment on your brush. So we are looking very wet. My water bottle's in my greenhouse room where I got my plants growing, so I don't have that with me. Oh, there's a hair in there. Texas. Okay, so we want that, and then we want quite a bit of paint on our brush. If you guys can see that. And we're gonna just start by going around kind of the outer edges. Like so, and we'll drop some in there. Okay, so you see, that's beautiful. That looks good. And so to soften that, we're gonna go in with kind of a slightly clean brush. It doesn't need to be totally clean. And we're just gonna drag that color around a bit and soften it. It's okay if you kind of go out of the lines too, because you know my style of painting, it's kind of all over. Like, it doesn't need to be totally perfect. The imperfection makes it perfect. Okay, so I've got that one done with our yellow. And then we are going to go into, those ones are all attached. So we'll have to go work on this back one here. So we're gonna drop some clear water down. Again, we're going in with our lemon yellow, and we're gonna just load up our brush again, and we're just gonna go kind of around the edge. Ooh, I love how that's looking. So pretty. And then we can just drag some of that color around just to give more effect there. Okay, so we don't have any wow. This is crazy. Okay. There's no green really touching. Oh, but then that's wet now. Okay. Let's go work on this leaf, these leaves over here that aren't touching any green. So we got this one right here, leaves, petal. The petals that aren't touching any green. So we're gonna go in there again, drop down the clear around the edges. Hey, skedaddle. And then taking our lemon yellow again and painting around the edges with that. Cleaning our brush off a bit, and then dragging that. Okay, buddy, go play with that eraser. He's really into it today. We just got back from the farm today, so we had a big car ride to come home. And so he's feeling it today. He's into it. Okay, so we've got those done. this one back here, so there's a petal back here that we're going to go and drop a little bit of water down, again, the edges and into the, yep, into where the crease is, that where it meets the trumpet of the petal, and we're going to go drop Texas. Enough. Okay. Oh, you little brat. I'm going to just drop that in there. So you can see the yellow is pretty bright, you guys, right? So that's quite a bit of pigment on the, it's quite a bit of watercolor paint on the brush, which is cool. We got that done. So the green is pretty much dry now, so we can kind of go in. So the next one I want to do is this, there's a petal that's coming out going underneath everything here. I want to do that one next. It's the exact same technique. Go drop some of that water in there. So our first layer is going to be, it's going to be that bright yellow. But if you know anything about light, there would be a shadow cast on this leaf because this shadow cast on this petal because this petal is on top of it. So we'll add some of that shadow in. On our next go around, we're not going to make these very intense with color. We're going to leave them pretty soft. So we're just going to drop this down. Then we're going to go in with a little bit of another brighter yellowy orange after that and do a little bit more kind of shadow, whatever else. And then we're going to do all our definition with the ink and stuff like that. So let's do this one here. I guess it's not the last one. We'll get onto this one here. Putting down that water again. Pretty heavy, but not like it's soaking wet, okay? Like you still want it pretty good. Pretty good and wet, but like a little bit controlled, I guess, is the best way to describe that. All right. I love daffodils. I've grown them in my garden a lot. I have the odd one that still pops up. Because I grow cut flowers, I haven't really invested a ton of time into the daffodils. Just, you need to know how to grow them properly. And they're an investment. So I don't grow a ton of them. I have the odd one that grows in my garden and I love them, but I don't grow them for cut flowers. Well, for myself, yes, but I don't sell them. So I'm not sure if you guys know, but I grow a huge, massive garden, and I do cut flower bouquet subscriptions in the summertime. This is my third year doing it. I kind of did it as a little practice thing. I'm not sure that I'm going to continue on with it after this year. I just have a lot of other things going on, and I love my garden so much, but I don't want it to feel like a job, and I'm starting to feel like that a little bit with it. So I have to think about that for the future, but I'm going to definitely do the flower subscription again this year. It'll be crazy cuckoo-luckoo, but it'll be good. And then consequently, I have all these beautiful flowers to take pictures of, and I can paint them all. So that's pretty much amazing. I just have to remember to take all the pictures. And I had tons of pictures from last year. I switched over my phone and I lost everything. And my last backup, I don't know what happened, but my last backup of my phone didn't have nearly the amount that I took. So I was pretty disappointed in myself, but I had a big lesson learned that you got to unload those photos sometimes. I probably had flowers, tons of flowers, but altogether, probably had like 8,000 photos on there. And I think if 2,000 made the transfer, I'd be surprised. Okay, so as you can see, we're just carrying on with that, you guys, just exactly the same way as every single petal that I'm doing. We're doing it all the same. So we're doing water around the edges, lemon yellow around the edges as well, and leaving kind of that center white. That just gives the look of light, you know, and oh man, some of the daffodil or narcissus, narcissus. Anyways, they come in all different colors now, and they are so absolutely beautiful. So you don't have to just go with the straight up yellow everywhere. You can do them different colors. And you don't have to do the same color that they are traditionally. You can do whatever you want, but we're sticking with yellow just because I love that springy kind of vibe of the daffodil that's yellow, fresh. Like it just totally reminds me of like a new season coming in. So that's what we're going with these. But you know what, in the future, we may just have one that's kind of a fun color. There's lots of daffodils that are kind of like yellows, oranges, peaches. Like really pretty. Whoopsie. Really pretty. Okay, so now we're going to do kind of this trumpety part. And so kind of the same idea. We're going to go in, we'll start with this part in the mid here. And I'm actually going to make it a bit lighter. So I'm still going to use that lemon yellow, but I'm going to mix it with white. I'm going to pastel it up a bit. So I find that white definitely pastels things up a bit. Some people don't like to use white or black, but I'm not afraid of it. So I just dulled it down a bit, and we're going to add water. So we're just literally going to go around the edges of the trumpet part. Like, what would you call this? I refer to it as a trumpet because that's what it reminds me of, but it's probably... Okay, we're going in with the water now, and we're really softening that and keeping brightness on the edges. So I got a brush with water on it, and then I just pull that color kind of to the center. But leaving, you know, the intensity of that kind of pastel yellow around the edges. And we just do that with clear water. So yeah, so that's looking pretty good for that. And then we're going to do the same thing with this trumpet here too. The same, we're doing matchies. Matchies. So we're going to go around the outside of that one. You can bring some of that water into the center a bit. And we're going to use the exact same yellow. So just a bit pastel-y with that white diluting, that yellow, the lemon yellow. Clean your brush off again, and then we're going to come through and just pull that. Okay. Looks pretty good. So because there is a lip on these, like, you know, a daffodil does look like it has a bit of a lip on the ones that look like this. So underneath the lip here, we can go in with a little bit of a darker yellow. So that's, we're going to start introducing, we're going to go into, and we're just going to use straight yellow. It's just a little bit darker, and maybe we'll add like a tiny bit of the yellow orange. So we're just going to, sorry, I meant to show you. So we're going to use these two together, yellow and yellow orange, just to give that shadow look underneath that lip. So I've dropped that color down, which is all fine, but I do not want it to be intense like that. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the trumpet, clean my brush off, and I'm going to pull that water or pull that pigment down and really kind of dilute it, but still leave that shadow look. So we're gonna do that same thing on this side, clean brush, water on it, and pull her down. Yeah. Just like so. I love how that looks. So far, so good, you guys. I'm loving it. All right, so the top of the trumpet, we're gonna do that same yellow, pastel yellow, but we're gonna maybe mix a little bit of that yellow, orange, and yellow. Like we're gonna mix all three of those together. So we're gonna have like that pastel, but a little bit more intense yellow, and we're gonna dilute our brush with lots of water. And we're gonna go in, and now we're gonna be mindful of this edge because we don't want it to bleed into there. So we wanna just plop the paint down, and oh yeah, I guess at this part we're doing wet on dry. That's important to know. I should have been mentioning it. Oh, we got a little bit of a bleed going on there, but that's totally cool. Totally cool. We can leave white around the edge there. That's just perfect. Same thing on this one. So we're gonna go, you know, kind of up around this, the lip of that. And then we're gonna go in with a wet brush and just kind of drag it and fill it in and leave what's closest to the orange lip there. Leave it just white, which is fine. Just, we don't want it to bleed too much, and you can just leave it like that. And that is gonna be great. Okay, I think that's looking really, really awesome right now. So we're gonna go in and do our final lap on the leaves. This is gonna be it. So be cautious. We don't wanna have any bleeding going into these here or into the flowers. So you wanna make sure everything is dry where the leaves are gonna be touching that. So like up here, it could be a little risque because the top of this trumpet is a little wet. So you want to be very, very careful, as well as this one. So we're going to start with the middle one, to be totally honest. And this is when we're going to go in with our darkest pass over. So I'm going to do the same dark as we did before with the olive green, the green gray, and then the deep green. We're going to mix all those together. So again, that's olive, gray, green, deep. So 838, 842, 830. And we're just gonna mix a little bit of each of those together. Oh. Okay. That's good. Perfect. And so we're gonna go around and we're just gonna create that like the look of shadow and maybe a couple little lines because these leaves are, so you see they're dry. And we're going down in here. But that's okay. We're going to clean off our brush, but it doesn't need to be totally clean. And we are going to bring that paint just like we were doing before. And we do want it a little bit more clean than that. You don't want to leave too much pigment on the brush. And then you just want to have it, yeah, that looks good. And then we can come up even a titch on this other side because, you know, the leaf is, it's like there's going to be some shadow and stuff. So we just want to add a little bit of that. I mean, of course, we're not realists and we're not painting like, or sorry, maybe you are, but that looks pretty good. I like that a lot. We've got the stem. We can kind of work on that stem. We're just adding a bit of that. Oh, shoot, I don't want that. Okay, I like it. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that paint. Perfect. I think that looks really good. You know what? And I don't think I'm actually going to touch these other two. I kind of like how they're looking. Other than going in and putting in a couple of very, very fine lines. So you're just going to be using the tip of this number 8 brush. And we're just going to put a few very fine lines into these with that same color. And I'm talking fine. You want to go light, light, light. We'll just do one straight up the center. Ooh, I got to get more water on my brush. Okay. And then you can just do a couple really, really, really fine ones up the side. Perfect. That I think looks great. So we're going to do the same on this far one over here. It's kind of awkward painting like this, but I don't want to get anything wet. Perfect. And then we'll do this one here once that one's totally dry. So we can get back onto our daffodils, our flower. And so this is going to be our last little go through. And I want to add a little bit of yellow orange into it, into some of these areas. So I'm going to go with the actual 805 yellow orange, just straight up. And we're going to add a bit of that in there, but not, actually maybe I'm going to mix it with a little bit of that pastel yellow, you know, the lemon yellow. I'm going to mix a little bit of that with the yellow orange, just so it's not too intense. But we're just going to go through now and add in some of that detail. So like I said, under here, this one, there would be some shadow in there. So we're going to pop in some of that color, just a titch bit of it, and we're going to just manipulate that with the water. So we don't want it to be too intense, but just like intense enough to know that, hey, you know what? There's probably some shadow there. That looks pretty good to me. Just like that. All right, and then we can go in here at the base. And then we're going to go up the center very lightly. And again, I'm going to use a wet brush. So we start off doing wet on dry, and then we can bring our wet brush and just move it around. So I've got probably a little bit of bleed going on here with the green, but that's okay. I wasn't super mindful of that, but it's all right. And we're just going to work our way around some of these. So we're just really staying at the base. There would be a little bit of shadow there and coming up a bit just because everything kind of comes into the flower. So we're going to work with that. And then just ever so lightly having that orange come up the center where we put those lines in. And again, we could do all kinds of shading and shadows with oranges and whatever else. But then we get really intense. So this part where it flips over is going to be darker because it flips over. So we're just going to go in and put some of that yellow orange in there. Yep, looks good. Again, we're going to go into here. And we're going to just move some of that color around a bit. And there would be quite a bit of shadow because there is shadow coming from the trumpet, right? So like all good there. Same thing on this side. And then water to just disperse it a bit more. And then again, it curls under here, so we're gonna go darker in there with that. Perfect. Looks great. This one we can have a little line like that. Oh, I love that. No. There. Ooh, that looks pretty great. Pretty awesome. This one, well, we should have a little bit of a line of orange in there too. Good enough. Yeah, I love how that looks, you guys. I think that looks so pretty. Okay, so we're going to go in with this trumpet now. This is where it's going to get fun for us. So we're going to take that bright orange and we're going to kind of go around the edge of the trumpet. Hopefully you guys can see that. And we're going to go around the edge of it and we're going to just start adding and we can just go squiggly wiggly with texture. Going around the edge here. Great. And then we're going to go in, oopsie about that. And we're going to let that dry just like that. We're not going to, you can bring a little bit of that color down to give that illusion that it's going, that it's close, or not closing it, but it's coming, like it's opening up, let's say. That's a better way to put it. Okay, that looks good enough for, we don't want to get too wild. And then we're going to take some of this orange. Actually, we're going to go a little bit and we're going to add some straight orange. Orange to the yellow orange to do this one spot. Now, this is going to get crazy. So we want it to be a bit darker because we want to create that look of shadow. So here we go. We're going to drop a line down in there. With that darker orange. And now we're going to go in with our water and we're going to just, again, soften it. So that's going to give the look of that hole in there, and you'll get more of that when we go in with the detailing, but that's pretty much that there. Okay, so let's get on with this one. You know what? This is just totally white here, and I think I want it to be a little bit yellowy just up in this corner. I just want a little bit. So I'm going to pop that in there. Just a teeny bit. Yep, perfect. That's better. Okay, so back to where we were here. We're going to go in with our pastel-y yellow orange, what we did with these ones. And we're going to do the same thing on this exact one, you guys. So we're going to go in around the edge or the base. We're going to have this come like so. And then we're going to drag it around. And you can see this one here. It folds over. So we're going to make it darker. Great. And just carry on like that, you guys. Perfect. And just keep working your way around, doing the same thing, very light. With the crease up the center. Drop in some color. And move it around with a wet paintbrush. And just carry on, carry on. Looks so good so far. All right, you guys, so here's the point when I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about this. If you guys are loving the video, please be sure to give me a like. And if you don't like the video and you're going to give me a thumbs down, can you just tell me why? That would be so great to know. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you want to see what we're going to get up to, please subscribe so you don't miss anything. It's all just fun here. We don't want to be too serious. We just want to have a good time, and we just want people to be, I just want people to paint. That's it. You know, my style is not traditional, I would say. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I am self-taught, as I've said before. So if you like my style, then awesome. Hang out and paint with me. If you don't, that's totally cool. I understand that it's not for everybody. And that's all good. That's just life, you know? And so I'm good with it all. But we are on my page, I just want it to be a place where it is welcoming to anybody and everybody. And that it is a place where we can all just enjoy painting. And there's no bullying, no unnecessary mean comments or anything like that. So this is a safe space for everybody. And anybody and everybody that's just learning watercolor and wants to, yeah, have fun on this journey. So I just want everybody to remember that when you guys are commenting or engaging, whatever, we're just a happy place. Not that I've had any bad trouble yet, but I just want to keep that going because, yeah, I love the community that's hanging around my channel. Like, you guys are great people and really make this a lot of fun for me. So you guys, we're going around the edge of this here now. Yeah, so I want to thank you guys so much for, yeah, being unbelievable and helping inspire me on this journey of this watercolor channel on YouTube. It has been a ton of fun so far, and I've already learned so much myself just by doing these tutorials and all that good stuff. So thank you guys for being here and for supporting the channel. Honestly, it's always so crazy doing stuff like this because you kind of put yourself out to the wolves, you know? Okay, we're dropping in that shadow there. And we're softening it. Anyways, yeah, so thank you guys for making this such an amazing experience so far. And for really being a part of my channel and for all your comments and suggestions and all that great stuff. Honestly, I appreciate every single one of you and some of you guys that have had some good constructive criticism. I appreciate it all. Like, I truly do. I'm going to finish up this last leaf now, and then we're going to be done with this part of it. So yeah, I really want you all to know that whatever happens and you guys say on my channel or whatever, there's zero judgment. We're all entitled to feel what we want to feel, but just be kind when we're doing it. Not that anybody, like I said, not that anybody has been other than that, but just to stay on tune with that. Like, just let's keep it awesome. And then everybody can have fun and learn to paint, and we can all have fun together, and it'll be a place that we can just all thrive in. So yeah, thank you guys for that. All right, so far I'm loving how that's looking. I think it's great. What are you guys thinking? Okay, so we want to let that totally dry. Oh, actually, no, we're not totally done. We got to add in our little stameny thing. So I'm just going to go in with a dark orange. In fact, I'm going to use the vermilion orange which is going to be this bad boy. It's going to be bright. We're going to have that in there. Yeah. And we're just going to do like a little dot kind of on the top. And we'll just do a little line going down. Woo! Oh, this one's still wet. Whoopsie daisy. I got too excited. All good. We can deal with that later. Okay, we're going to let those totally dry. And then, whoopsie, bump that. We're going to go in with our metallic gold ink, which I didn't use on the last one, but I want to use it on this one. Gold ink time. So yeah, I did that entire painting with that number 8 pet brush. Just delightful. I love it. I have now this number 1 script, which I've been using. I still haven't been to the art store to see if I can get even finer brushes than this number 1, which I'd like to look into. Okay, so typically I go pretty squiggly with the lines, but today we're not going to go as squiggly, but maybe just a little bit of squiggle because, you know, why not? But I'm going slowly and I'm going fine. Just very, very gently to get that really soft, dainty look. The quicker I go and the harder I press down, the wider and more intense the gold is, and I just want it to be so soft. And I think the reasoning for that is because of how intense the gold leaf was. I was like, whoa, that is too much. So now I really want to be delicate and soft and dainty. So this is the Winsor Newton metallic gold ink. It'll be listed in the description of the video as usual. Okay, that looks really pretty. Oh yeah, this one's kind of a... Okay, that does look pretty already. Okay, so we're gonna... Now, I'm gonna try... I kind of want this gold to be on the tips, like more on the tips of these rather than the whole entire thing. So we're gonna try something a little different. We're just gonna kind of go. Maybe I gotta kind of. Yep, I like that. How nice is that, you guys? Okay, so going over with the gold Winsor Newton, real slow and real fine, is beautiful. It looks so good. That one is just a little... Okay. So good, you guys. I'm really, really enjoying this. I love that. So I'm basically just kind of going all around everything, just as I kind of normally would. Huh. I think I'm just going to go kind of around the edge here. So far, so good. Somebody had made a comment on one of my videos about the beam paints. So they are made in Canada, which is pretty cool. And, you know, she said, she commented like, go and get the seconds, I think they're called. So they're the ones that are like, you know, a little imperfect, but they're still great quality. Like they're just maybe overfilled, or she had a couple of things that she had said there. And so because I have looked into them, I mean, they are definitely a decent price point. And I just, you know, other than their website, I haven't really heard much about people using them. So I was like a little reluctant to dive headfirst into that, just because they might have some really good marketing, but crappy quality paint. So I'm super pumped that somebody has used them. If you guys have used them at all, could you give me your 2 cents on that? Because they have metallic, which is, you know, I'm on the hunt for something other than this gold ink, which I don't mind the gold ink. Like I like it. That's kind of like my OG. That's where I started. But yeah, I think, oh, maybe if I had gold watercolor, I think I want to do that too. That might be fun too. Okay, so we got, I think, enough gold in there. So the next part is our fun part with the Micron Archival ink pen. That is our next, this is where we add the detail. And we go in with our fine lines. You guys have seen me do this. If you followed any of my tutorials, this is what I do always. So I'll probably speed through this part because it takes me a little while. I'm going to use this number 3 Micron ink pen because it's got ink in it and I grabbed it. So that's what I'm going to use for this part. And I can start on this one here because it's all dry. We'll hang tight while I do these first few. So I'm just kind of gently going over the leaves. Oh, I keep calling them leaves. The petals. Wow. I've mistakenly called them that. I don't even know how many times, but too many. Sometimes when I get doing the pen, I think, oh, this might be too harsh. Like it might be too much. And then when I get done, I always think, wow, that looks beautiful. And I'm really glad I did that. It's just, it has kind of become my thing. And I really, truly love how it looks. So I'm not going to give it up anytime soon. I imagine at some point I'll be doing paintings without it, but I just think it gives that kind of wow factor that I'm looking for. We will add in like lots of detail. Right now I'm just going over everything one time, and then we go in and we'll add in our details. So we have one here, that's the stem. Then we got the leaf. If you guys have any suggestions of what you would like to see me paint, I've had lots of people comment, and there was a lot of comments at the very beginning, and then I haven't heard too many more. So if you guys have anything that you want me to paint, well, just let me know, and then I'll add it to my list. because there's a gajillion flowers out there that can be painted, and why not? There is not one flower I don't love. I will say that to you guys right now. They are all, there's some I like better than others. Some are more fun to paint than others, but they're all so beautiful. Oh, yep. Alrighty, we're just getting in like that nice detail from using the black pen. Cool beans. Okay, so we have our first in there, and now I'm going to end up moving this around while I do this. So just so you guys can follow along with me, and it's easier for me, but... So I'm just going, this is like line work, you know, where we're going in to create that look by doing some shading, shadows, texture with the lines. That's what's happening here. Amazing. Love that. Okay, so up in this top part, now this is where it kind of gets a little bit interesting. And it's kind of covered up because I put that dang gold ink on there. You can kind of see where the black or gold leaf. You can see I've got the black coming in, and you can see in the middle here I've done a little bit of a semicircle to kind of create that look to attach to that the orange that I have in there. So, you know, you got to be mindful of what you're doing. You want everything to come to the center, you know, to give that illusion that it's everything's coming from there. So this is, you know, this takes some practice to understand all that. And to not make a mess of it. So if you don't want to go add these lines in, well, that's totally cool. I get it, because it can be, you know, even when I was doing this, I was just like, okay, remember, you know, just remember what this is looking like, you know, so that it doesn't end up looking like a big mess. Which, you know what, you guys, I've done that, and I make mistakes too, honestly. Like I've done daffodils before, but not necessarily this exact drawing. So sometimes when I do them too, it's just very new to me. So yeah, I love how that's looking. I can even kind of go maybe down a little further and to the center even more. Yeah, I love how that looks. And so then we can go into our petals. And do that. So more lines coming from the top and from in the bottom here where there would be more shadow, because it's creating the look of more shadow by adding those lines in there. This just takes practice. I wish I could give you a ton of tips on it, but it just takes practice to understand that. And a class probably on, you know, light and shadow and all that stuff would be really good for you. But you don't even have to add this line work in. If you're following along with me, and it's just too advanced to do the line work, then don't do it. If you're worried about making it look crappy, but you love the watercolor part of it, just leave it at that, you know, until you feel a bit more comfortable getting in there and doing the line work. It's fine. Whatever floats your boat. There's nobody judging you. I honestly think if you're painting and you're following along, you are doing amazing. And I'm very proud of you for doing that, because a lot of people would, you know, wouldn't even watch a YouTube video to try to learn something new. They would sit there and think, I wish I knew how to do that, but never do anything to learn. So if you're following along and you're learning, I am very proud of you. So good work on that. All right, we're on our last one here, guys. So we're going to go up. We're going to start with the trumpet part. This part gets easier. As you do it, you can add in. You can kind of motor through. But when you're first starting, it's probably just like a little bit, you're a little bit slower, a little bit more intimidated by what's going on. You don't want to make a mess of it. So I totally get that. For me, I can kind of cruise through. And do that. Looks pretty good. Right on. Well, you guys, I'm going to finish up this last little bit here. Just get through. And as soon as I'm done, I will check in with you guys and see our final product. Okay, I'm done the line work, and the one thing that I'm really thinking I want to do is some splatters of gold on this painting. I think it just needs a little bit of wild in it. Like, it does look really lovely like this. I should take a photo of that, just how it is. Okay, let's get some gold splatters on there. So you know how I like to do it if you've watched any of my videos? I like to start by like doing it in the center and having it come like less concentrated as we go out. This could be a fail on my part because it's a really pretty picture the way that it is, and it could be a bit of a mess, but I don't know. Sometimes you got to live dangerously. So I'm going to start by, I want it to be intense coming out the center of the daffodil. Like, I just want a bit of a blob. Yes. That's more, yeah, see, I like that. Like, I love that clumpy blobbiness. Yes. All right, you guys, I am all finished up. I got gold splatters everywhere, a big clumps of gold on here. I don't even care. I love it. I love it so much more than this one. This was number one. Still pretty. Number two. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it looks so great. And I had to stop and take a picture because I think a photo of it because I think it'll look so cute on a card if it's just like a corner of it. I love. Anyway, so that's going to do it for me, you guys. That's the daffodil tutorial. Very cool. I think what I might do next for a tutorial, somebody had commented that they would really love to do the sunflower, but they were feeling overwhelmed by the tutorial. It's too much. So I think I'm going to do a little series for the sunflower and break it down into 3 videos maybe, and maybe make it just a smaller, maybe just a little smaller of a project, not so big. So I want to work on that so that everybody can enjoy. I've had so many people love the sunflower. So I'm definitely going to try to work on that and do it maybe in a 3-part series. So it's not going to be all at once. We'll break it up into 3 and we can just see how that goes, because I want everybody to paint that if they love it. So anyways, you guys, like I said before, if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Then you won't miss out on any of the fun stuff that's going to be coming. I had this grand master plan, but then every time somebody comments that they want to see something, they want to see it slower, I try to accommodate that and do it because, hey, you know what? That's what's going to keep people here and keep people learning. So I do steer off my plan a little bit from time to time. And I just want to say as well, if you don't like my video and you don't like it so much that you're going to give me a thumbs down, can you just please let me know why? Because then that helps me be a better YouTuber, helps me be able to create better content and understand what I'm doing that you guys don't like. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your positive feedback. Thank you for being a part of the Blooms and Brushstrokes community. You guys are amazing. This is a ton of fun. And I really, truly love all of you for supporting me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll see you guys in the next video.